Hi, hello everyone. So I had some troubles in connecting. Hope everything is all right now. How are you today? Let me know. Let me know if you hear me, or and if I can start. So we will. There you are, Alessandro, Gabi. Thank you for your feedback. Another couple of seconds, and then I can start giving you some news. Thank you, Ali. Okay, so well, today I wanted to talk to you about openings of the campus facilities, which I will in a moment. However, I also want to address one issue which came more, let's say, more alive these couple of days, and that's an issue that it's been going on for the last couple of months. That it's due to the emergency, which is about the university fees and what is NABA doing to help you out in this moment of difficulty. You've asked me so far many times if there are any tool, any instrument, any solution in place from NABA, from other institutions, somehow, some help that you could get in case you are in financial distress. And I've always been, asking you to wait until some time. We also wanted to evaluate how things were going before, giving you any plan. Lately, though, I normally respond more quickly because normally the things we talk about are, let's say, ultimately a decision of mine. So I'm responsible directly for it. So I'm more free to, drive the process and get the decision made and give you information about it. This issue of the fees and its financial, obviously, it's not my direct area of competence in a way. That's our properties, the owners, matter. It's their decision. So it takes longer because I need to discuss with other people. I need to present the cases and the situation to the owner of NABA, and so it's not directly something I control. That's why it takes a little bit longer. As many other things like the rent or how much do we pay for the cleaning service or the security and so on. So obviously there are some things that are the owner's responsibility and not the dean's in a way. So it's not the same thing to be the dean and to be the owner. In any case, just for you to know why you've been waiting a little longer than other issues. Our property is very responsive, so I have been talking to them, daily, on a daily basis. They, I think, I think I know how to, represent and make your case. We deal in a different sort of ways. You write to me, we talk. I read your emails. I read all your emails actually. So I think I have a pretty good idea of what you want, what you ask, and the difficulties that you have. That's why I've been talking about that to these people in the finance department. What I can tell you is that unfortunately a communication was sent out yesterday or a few days ago regarding next year's fees. That was like a sort of an automatic message with no context given, just information. Hi, dear students, this is your fees for next year. Go and see that. Well, I apologize for that. On behalf of NABA, because that's not the tone we like to communicate. So it was a mistake that this communication was sent this way. This is to tell you that by tonight or tomorrow, the latest, you will receive a written communication from our owners, from the financial control, who, well, in this letter, in this email communication, you will have all the answers you've been to the questions you've been asking me so far. You wanted to know if there was a sort of a generalized fee reduction. You wanted to know if there is a more personalized kind of help. You wanted to know if there are more scholarships or other ways to postpone payments. So all of these, now we have an answer. So I'm not covering it today. I'm happy to talk about it the next time, because so you should have the information first. So just please wait for that communication. It should be a matter of today, tomorrow, the end of the week by the latest. So you will soon know exactly everything that NABA has put out to help in this situation. And from that, you obviously have any way to deal with more questions or doubts that you may have after this communication. I wanted to address this first because this is an issue where I normally get a lot of questions. So I hope this clarifies that you need to wait another couple of days. And then again, I'm happy to discuss the content of this letter with you, should you need. So that's for the fees. So thank you for waiting for this message. Okay, now, do you still hear me? Because I'm surprised I don't see any comments. So just checking if you're still there. Because now 80 people, so just a couple of seconds and we'll get, okay, excellent, thank you. Good to know, great. So today, openings. So good news, we have opened some of the facilities of our campus. And that's good news, I'm happy to tell you that. We started and we will continue on a low profile, meaning we are not opening full steam for many reasons. Well, we want to do it safely, and we are still adapting the campus to the new safety regulations. So obviously there are also construction works to be done. So not everything is fully ready, but we don't want to postpone it anymore. So it's not full steam. Not everyone can come freely as as we used to. But what happened already? Library is open as of last Monday. On a booking basis, so you need to book your place before you go. We cannot have any people just lingering around the campus. You need to be there with a purpose still. I know that NABA is also a place where people should freely hang out without necessarily having to go somewhere. We're not there yet. We want NABA to go back to be a place where you can just be all day for your whatever I have to do, not even purposely. At the moment, you can only go with the purpose. So as for the library, there's an email, there is a telephone, you need to call or email and wait for a response. You will only be allowed in if you have a valid confirmed booking. That's valid for consultation, if you want to go there and study, and also for booking for the lending of the books. So if you want to take a book or to return a book, you also need to make a booking via email. That's already happening. So some of you have already accessed the campus. The second news is we are going to open the labs. Labs obviously are much wider. It's much more complicated. So today I am covering with you some basic principles because I want you to understand why we open the labs and what is the logic behind it. Then every course have, labs are different. Courses use labs differently. There will be much more detailed communication and instructions in the next couple of days from your course reference persons, and they will outline exactly what can you do, what you cannot do, and all the very detailed questions that I'm sure you have and that I cannot possibly respond to today because it's too many. So, but for you to understand the principles, I will remind you that the academic year is finishing remotely. So we are not switching back to a presence mode. Everything you have to do for your exams, it doesn't need the labs. We are all doing things that you can do from home, and you are going to be assessed this way. So please do not rush into the labs thinking that if you access the labs, you're going to get better grades for your exams or for your final projects as well, because that's not the case. We are still in remote education until the end of the academic year. However, we do have the labs available. We have the people there. We don't want to, have people stay home. We didn't let anybody go during this period, and so we have people there waiting and eager to work with you and to start working with you again. So it's a pity to have facilities and people there and keeping everything shut down. So that's why we thought about some criteria for you to go to decide, what we can do in the labs and what is not the case that we are doing. So generally speaking, again, as you are going to be graded for work that doesn't require labs, and it wouldn't be fair to do differently because many of you cannot come to Milan yet. So again, it's not compulsory, it's not something your grade will be based on. You can go to the labs according to different priorities, and each course have different priorities. There are people who have started, for example, shooting a movie before the pandemic and they need to finish. So those will have, for example, a precedence. There are some people who are in master courses and they need to complete some part of the course and they will have a sort of precedence. So not everybody will be allowed in the labs straight away. There is a list of students who, for several reasons, we decided have the precedence because you are not all the same. You are in different places in your courses. Although we want to be just, we want to be fair in allowing you earlier or before in the labs, it wouldn't be just, it wouldn't be fair to just say everyone can come because we need to take priorities and context into account. That's why it may sound a bit more complicated to you this way, but we really believe it's more fair. We really cannot do without taking context into account. So I hope you understand that. So again, there will be a list of names initial, and as I said, labs are not going to be full steam. So we are not yet at the full capacity. So only a portion of people will be able to access the labs for the first couple of weeks. And we also want to know and make sure that both you and us can manage this activity, that it's going to be different safely and smoothly. So we also want to not rush into it. We want to go there in fading in. We are going to be back into full steam labs. It's a promise. For the moment, we prefer to go this way, and I'm sure you also understand because we also need to maintain a security level that we all care for. So again, don't be mad or don't get angry if you're not the first one to access labs. Imagine that there are other students that need it more than you need. I know you may feel that you need it more than anybody else. Everybody maybe would feel the same, but please be aware that there are different situations. We don't want to make differences subjectively. We really made this priority access considering situations, trying to be fair. And the rest will come. So you will also regain access to the labs. You will have to access labs through a booking system. It will be through Mainaba. Also on that you will receive information how to access it and so on. It's a system, again, attached to Mainaba. You will log in, you will see the slots available. You can book yourself in if you are in this first batch of students who can go to the labs. And that's because we need to provide to the health authorities records of who access our facilities, because in the unfortunate event that somebody turns out to be positive to the virus, then they need to trace all the contacts of the 2 weeks preceding the infection. So we need to show, if somebody turns out to be positive, who else was in the room with them. That's why we need to make bookings, we need to keep a record. Again, it's not the way we are used to access NABA, but for the moment, that's what we have to do. So help us in achieving this safety requirement, because it's for the health of everybody. As I said, there will be more information very soon in writing for you from your course references. So your course leaders or their assistants, they will write to you saying, you can go to the labs, those are the projects you can develop, those are the kind of work you cannot do, and they will give you examples of what is possible to do in these labs for various reasons, and how to access, and all the regulations that govern this first phase. And also, if you want to know, what you can do, or if you have more technical questions, in Mainaba and in the email you will receive, it will be written who can you contact in case you need more information that are technical. So there is going to be some lab contact, there is going to be some academic contact for you to know who should you ask, so you don't lose time trying to work out things yourself. You can ask people and we hope that it's going to be clear. Also, all the labs are going to open, not every lab on the 3rd. Again, we are waiting also for some other sanification rules, but next week, one after the other, we will all get back to opening all the labs. And I say this for graphic design students more than others, because you are the ones who maybe need more the computers and also maybe media and new technologies. The computer labs will still be accessible remotely. So it's more than 200 computers that you can access from home as if you were there. So you can use software even if you don't have the license, because you're going to use the school's machine, which is licensed. And you can continue using computer work and do computer work remotely as you can since a couple of months now. Let me see if you have questions on the labs. Veronica will respond to that later. Armand, I don't understand your question. This semester is going to be remote, if that's your question. Otherwise, please rephrase, because I don't understand. What's the studio, Ali? No, the lessons are not in campus, Armand, if that's the question. This semester, Alessandro, I have to correct you, it's not blended, it's fully remote. This semester of this academic year is remote, completely remote. So you don't have to come to NABA, you don't have to do any presence activity. Then for the future, we'll talk in a moment. Who gets the priority? It depends on the course. It's really complex because you have 4,000 students and a lot of different courses. Generally speaking, we want to give precedence to people who are finishing, who are approaching the end of their studies, or who have started already some projects and need to not leave them open. But I don't know what course you're in, Anastasia, but it will be explained to you what is the criteria specifically for your course. So just wait another couple of days and you will receive those explanations. I don't really understand. It's a statement, so I don't really understand. What is the studio, Ali? What do you mean by the studio? What course are you? I don't really understand. What is it? The film studio? If it's a film studio, again, anyway, for any facility, you will receive an email stating when can you start booking, who can start booking, and how can you start booking. Please understand, I cannot cover here every single lab facility. My point is just for you to announce and to know that this is going to happen next week and that you are going to receive information in writing from your course people. So please, I know now you want to know everything. Please be patient, it will come. My job here today is to announce you that everything is coming. So for you to know. I hope you understand. Yes, of course, Al-Shwaya, Windows and Mac, actually in the remote access, from a technical point of view, it works much better on Windows computer from our perspective. So yes, there are several Windows machines you can log in remotely. I know that an email was sent with instructions. If you want to ask either coordination or your academic assistant or IT, if you don't have the guide, they will send it again because that's around since quite some time now. So yes, there are Windows machines. Susanna, I told that at the beginning, you will have information on that in the next couple of days in writing from the financial and from the property. So I just ask you to wait until you receive that communication and then we can discuss that again. Lynn, we normally don't have receipts. That's not something we can do for our students. Exceptions, we can always handle exceptions. So again, talk to your course leader. If there is one specific class you want to retake, normally that's possible. So I cannot guarantee it, but ask to your course leaders or to the lecturer directly. Yes, I will send an email today. Normally in the email I send, the email you receive from me is very short, it's very synthesized and only lists in bullet points the subjects we touched today, not the full transcript of my speech, of course. because I mean, that's the whole point of making a speech, so we can have a direct contact. But to my communication, it will follow other communications from Secretaria, from the labs, from the course leaders, from Coordinamento, with instructions on the labs. So those are follow-ups on my communication. Curatorial major or study theory courses online and concept material courses. Then we have no orientation. I see your point, Tintin. It's fair. You are entitled to your opinion, of course. That's nothing we can do about, because we all face this situation. So again, if you want to know more information about the financials, please wait for the email from the financial people, and then you will know more. Career service works, Gabby. I'm sorry they didn't respond. I don't know if some of the colleagues of career service are here right now, but as far as I know, career service is working, and especially for master's students. I don't know now what course you are in, because we started all the internships again, so everything is moving. So strangely they didn't respond. Write to them again, I would say. Or if some of them are here, just maybe they will get in touch with you directly. This class because it's hard to catch up with our labs. No, Janaki, this semester is only online. We explained why. Not everybody is able to come to Milan and have the classes. So this semester is going to be online only. We've been covering this a lot in the past meetings we had. So maybe if you miss some, please go and see them. I try to explain always very well why we decided to keep the whole semester in remote distance mode. Oh, thank you, Alessandro. So hopefully this will be fixed soon. Next semester blended. Well, that was my last point. If you want me to touch, because I still have something to touch about this semester. So Fabiola, if you wait for a moment, I will finish talking about what happens from now to September, and then I'll cover next. So we go in order. So for the labs, that's the message I wanted to give you. It's not the only one, but obviously I want to tell you this first, and now a lot more information will follow. So make sure you, please be reassured you will receive it. Thesis, the minister said that as opposed to courses and exams, which have to remain fully online, thesis, we can do them in presence. So your final project presentations, your final diploma presentations, from the month of July only. So for the 1st of July, we will be able to do the usual thesis discussion in presence for those of you who can obviously travel to Milan. Now, I know not everybody is in this situation. Many of you cannot travel to Milan, and for them, obviously, we will still keep the possibility of graduating online, if that's the only way we can do. So it's going to be mixed. Basically, there will be a moment in June where you will have to fill out the diploma request. There is a form, and there will be an official statement from you in that moment. We will ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to do your graduation in presence, or do you want to do it remotely? That is the moment after which you cannot change your mind anymore, because we start organizing the sessions. So it's going to be there's going to be a while, so you still have some time to know whether you can travel or not. And please be aware, it's your responsibility to know whether you can travel or not. We cannot possibly know every single regulations of every country, of every city, even if it's in Italy. So when you say, I want to graduate in presence, you must be sure that you can move to Milan for the day. Otherwise, it's going to be a no-show. So please, document, consult the authorities. We can help you out, but we take for granted that once you fill the form, you know what you can and what you cannot do. Let me see some questions. We are going to, I really struggle a little bit to understand what is your question, Yusin. I hope I get it right. Yes, we are going to have extra activities when the school can open again, of things that are related to this semester, but it's not recovery, because you can finish the semester and get the credits without those activities. this is important because if we didn't allow that, many of you would have lost their scholarship, for example. So it's important that we have granted you the possibility to get the credits, but we know that you want more, so you will have extra activities likely from September, maybe some already from July, we'll see, but surely from September. We promise that, and you are going to get it. Remote internships, they should be still valid, Santosh, as far as I know. Yes, so Yusin, I take it that's what you wanted to know. I don't know about students who have not yet enrolled have received tuition discounts. I don't know about that, Sing Sing. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that there are scholarships and discounts normally. I don't know really the policy of discounts for prospects. I'm sorry. Lin, I think I responded to this already. Lin Huang, Diu, Nguyen. If it's an exception, we can work on exceptions. If you want to resit in one class, it may be possible. We cannot have people resit all classes. That's not possible. Fair, yes. Remote internships, they should be still valid, still. Ali, well, you can't really pick your graduation date exactly on the day. Normally, we try to accommodate your needs. We cannot guarantee that every student can pick a date. That's really impossible. You will know in advance. We'll try to, if you have special requirements, we'll try to, accommodate. But it's difficult. I can't promise you you're going to graduate the very day that you want. I'm sorry. Yanaki, thank you. I hope you appreciate. That's also because we believe that we want to give you those extra activities. So, Yusin, if your teacher does not reply, please go to your course leader and tell them my teacher does not reply. And normally that fixes the situation. It can happen. I don't know now the specific case, but there are other people you can contact if your teacher does not respond. Yes, this semester is online and not coaching. I see your point. That's your opinion. You probably are not aware of the extra expenses, but I'm not going into that now. I mean, you're free to think what you like, obviously. And again, you will receive information on that. I know you all wanted to go to the labs. We wanted you to go to the labs, but that was not made possible by external causes that are not dependent on our will. So we all wanted to do something different, and we were all forced to do something online. That's obviously true. The career service provides service only to students who have enrolled before April 17th. I don't know, Aishwarya. It sounds very strange to me. So please, let's deal with this with your course leader and the career service, because it surprises me. So career service is there for everyone. So it's a strange reply written that way. So maybe I don't understand exactly what you're talking about. Nilgun, again, it's an exception to retake one or couple of classes. So you don't have to pay, but we cannot guarantee to everybody that because we also have a limit of people that can sit in a class. So it's not really always possible to have you resit. We can deal with exceptions, so ask the teacher and the course leader. If it's one or two, it may be possible, and if it's possible, we will not ask you to pay, of course. It may not be possible. Okay. Great. So that's for the thesis and final discussion. Internships are the same. We touched this issue briefly. They are now possible, even in presence. Not all the companies are available. We touched that in the last stream, so I don't want to repeat myself. But what has changed this week, most of the master courses have had a class, a specific appointment in which we explained all the possibilities to you. I take it that this is, we're solving most of the situations. because we also gave you alternatives to that for those of you who need to graduate in July. And we also gave you the possibility to graduate later at no costs if your choice is to wait. So I hope that covers all needs. If that's not the case, please again, through your course leaders, as you have done so far already, and I'm really addressing here students in master courses, we'll try to fix everybody's situation, of course. Sumia, if you want to take a year off, I'm sure there is a procedure for that. So if you approach coordination, you can interrupt your studies. I guess that's a faculty that you have all the time. So there will be some forms, and there is a procedure for that. If you ask me what is the procedure exactly, I cannot tell you from the bottom of my heart. So from the top of my heart, sorry. But there is documentation about it. So through Coordinamento, I'm sure you can find out what you need to do. And obviously it is possible. One last thing, also, while you think of your questions, is about Consulta degli Studenti. So it's the student council. Please, we haven't reached the minimum number of people, of candidates. We were aiming for 11 and only 8 people came forward. So please, we are missing 3. And as we said this morning to your Italian colleagues, if you don't get to 11, you make Alessandro very sad. So please, if not for Naba, do it for Alessandro. You know, we postponed the deadline for the candidacy to tomorrow at noon. We would really like to have a full student representation and not only 8 out of 11. So please, you know, you're very talkative. You are very strong-minded. I appreciate the fact that you want to talk and that you write me directly emails. This is a chance also for us to have a different level of discussion. So please forward your application for Consulta by tomorrow at noon. At least 3 of you. Okay, then next semester. I want to anticipate that I don't have much more information in addition to what I said last time, but you will have by June. In June, we'll be able to tell you more. What I can tell you for sure is the next semester is going to be blended. What does it mean, blended? It means that part of the activities are going to be in presence, especially labs, especially the practical ones. Part of activities, the minister asked us to still keep them remote. So we are working out the balance. Obviously, we want to do in presence as much as we can because that's the most preferred option. So there will be activity in NABA in presence to be done next year. We found out from your feedback, qualitative, which means emails and discussions in class, and also quantitative, which means surveys, that many things we did remotely are actually working out quite fine, if not even, in some cases, some of you said even better than in person. So that's why we also want to work out with you, what should we keep remote for next semester? We want to keep what works and we want to leave in presence what works best in presence. So that's why we want you in the Consulta to also have this dialogue. Yasmin, you need to speak with the Secretariat for that. So maybe you can, I don't know, honestly, yes, speak to Secretariat and see if you can change your decision for major force courses. So the blended option, that's the sure thing. This is what we are asked to do by our Ministry of Education. So you can be sure that you will have the choice to be in presence. What I cannot tell you definitively today, so it's an option. We are still asking if we can, because that's it's our regulators. We need to ask the ministry. We also want, because some people cannot or doesn't want to go to Milan next semester, to have an option like this semester, fully remote. The regulations are not clear. We don't know if we are allowed or not to offer this. So in case we can, we want to offer it for those who want this option. So if your choice is to have another remote semester, and maybe with some practical activity at the end. We want to give you that choice, but we still cannot confirm it as of today. So I cannot say to you, yes, you can, cancel your rent because you can stay away another 6 months. It's too early. You will know soon, because we also will know soon if this is allowed by the law. Exactly, Armand. That's the response to your question. Yusin, you will know in the next couple of days. You will receive a communication about next year's fees in writing today or tomorrow from the financial team. Thank you, Tina. There will be several options for you. So again, you will see them all in that letter I'm mentioning. Office. This, I guess, yes. You can, because even if you graduate, you are still an alumnus. So I'd say yes. Generally speaking, I'd say you can use the career service office. Well, part of the activities is because, what do you mean 10th of July? Part of the activities is because it's going to be, we have, very broadly speaking, to generalize, we have theoretical and practical activities. So the obvious choice seems to do remotely what is more theoretical, and in presence what is more practical, if that's your question. But again, we want to work that out in a way that works. We don't just want to say all the theoretical is online, all the practical is in presence, because we want to, make things work. So it's complex. It's a complex decision. So I know it's going to be helpful, and we're going to tell you as soon as it's possible. Well, Yuong, that's your right. Yuong Tang, obviously, it's more than fair what you say. You're absolutely entitled to make your decisions. So, by all means, fortunately, it's a free world, and everybody can do what they think is right. So, we will be sorry to see you go, but if that's your choice, what can we do? Well, it's not necessarily half and half. I don't know the proportion. It could be more in presence than half. It could be more than half in presence, in other words. Blended, and again, some subjects may have a larger part in theory, and some other classes may have a larger part in practice. That's when I say it's complex, it's because maybe, I don't know, I say something around material technology, it would be mostly done in presence, and maybe something like, I don't know, art history may be more done remotely. Those are just two examples, don't take me literally. So it's blended, and it's complex to say, just half and half. It's more complex than that. When we come to study abroad, it's not spend such high tuition fees. Again, Xingyin, I appreciate your, your frankness, and again, that's your choice. Very, very rightful and very, very fair. So I see what you say, and I can only, acknowledge that. I see all your points, and again, that's my response. Please wait for this communication. You will know soon what are the measures of help that you can use. And again, we cannot really do anything about your network. We're trying to offer a way to study NABA even remotely, provided that we can. We cannot really, that there is a limit to what we can do. If you are living in a country and the network doesn't allow for you to study in NABA anymore, I don't know, and we'll talk about it. But it's really difficult to fix networks in other countries. The status that is certain is that it's going to be blended. What is not determined is whether there will be an online only option. So I cannot read out your name. I can't read those characters. The exact date, Alessandro, maybe you remember from this morning, was it in June, somehow in June? So if Alessandro, if you hear me, I'm sure he'll remember when is the date when we will send the exam schedule. Rixin, I've touched this already. Wait for the communication. You receive a communication about the finance. Please wait for that. Ximena, again, you need to involve your course leaders. I don't know why they didn't approve your CV or portfolio. Obviously, it's a single question. This is not the place where we can address specific single person issues. There are other places you can use. You have your course leader, you have your academic assistant, and the career service. I'm sure this can be fixed with them. So please, let's address specific single person situation because it's impossible to go into the details. Aren, we are planning a fashion show in September, but again, please refer to your course staff. Yeah, Queen Yu, I've responded to this already. You'll receive a communication between tonight and tomorrow. Lynn, we already fixed the situation. You can log in into Campus Computer. You don't need a personal laptop if you don't have one. So you can log in to a machine of the campus and use the software on that machine. If you don't know how to do, please contact Assistente, Coordinamento, or check your email for instructions because we sent them out. There is a way that you can connect to our computers from home and use our software, our computers, and our hardware. That's something we are considering, yes, but it's not easy. I can anticipate to you because everything we rent then needs to run from an approval from the ministry because they need to approve that those premises are right for teaching. So it's not a very quick solution, unfortunately. The exact date for new semester, again, this will be sent out soon, Ophelia. Indeed, there are reasons for that. I'm sorry, and the policy on fees is not really something we discuss. It's not even an academic issue. So you are obviously very entitled to think it's not fair. If you think it's not fair, you can draw your conclusions. But there are reasons why the prices are different. And to be honest, that's the same in every university in Europe. If you look around, foreign fees are always higher because there are more administration processes to process mainly. Sorry if you find it unfair. I didn't say that, Choco. I said, again, I repeat myself, that we are still waiting to see whether we can provide an online solution only for next semester. And I also say that you will receive a communication very soon about the financial. So please wait for that. And then in case you still have doubts, you can respond to that and ask for more clarification. Xing, you don't have to accept anything you don't want to accept, obviously. We don't want to force anybody to do anything they don't want to. So, everybody will make their decisions, and everybody is free to do that. So there's no forcing anybody. I'm just waiting for some more questions in the meantime. While I wait for other questions, that's all I had to tell to you today. There is another question. Yaking again, other ways such as adding some parts of our courses. I don't know what you mean, adding some part of your courses. I mentioned extra activities already, which will take place. And again, you accept what you want to accept, and then you are very free not to accept things that you think are not acceptable. That's all I can say. But yes, there will be extra tuition. There will be extra classes from September for the practical time that should have happened during these months. Well, you determine, Ruixin, if you want to go online or in presence. If online is allowed, I want to stress this because I can see that sometimes you miss some parts of my speech. So the online only option at the moment is not real. It's something we are working on, and we need to wait until we are allowed to do. So we are asking our regulators whether this is a possibility. And if this is the case, you will have a choice. We must be clear about that. The timetable very soon will be out, as soon as we can. I would say, Taira, those information will be around June. Within June, you should know. If you are already enrolled, if we do not enroll now, I can, of course, not accept. I don't understand. I'm sorry, Xinding. Ximena, not yet. I would say again around June. With the month of June, you will also know about extra activities. Sorry, we really want to give information as soon as possible. We want to give information where we are sure. So the fact that we are sharing with you the process, so when we are thinking of doing things, is because we want to be open and transparent about what leads us to make certain decisions. And we will make them definitive when we can. So I know now you want to rush into knowing for sure, but that's at the moment not possible. It will be as soon as it's going to be possible. Please rest assured, we will let you know. There's no point for us in keeping this information away from you. Okay. Well. For next semester, what do I honestly think? Do you have a positive view? No, it's not that I am positive or negative. The reason why I'm not sure is because we depend on regulations. I mean, we cannot do all that we want. If it was for us only, we will make the alternatives and make you choose to go online fully or blended. Because we don't have that freedom, because we live in a system of rules, and obviously those rules are for your protection, because the ministry put rules so that in the interest of students, not in the interest of institutions. So and that's why we ask permission when we want to do things, because the ministry wants to keep the quality high, and that's how it works everywhere. So if you ask me, to get back to your question, I am positive, but that's my feeling. Obviously, take it as it is. I'm positive that we will be able to offer you both options. You can't base your important life decisions on my feelings. I'm happy to tell you my feelings, but please wait for certain news, because my feelings, I'd say, they're not enough for you to decide on your life important decisions. At the moment, we cannot do more workshops in presence, Jeroen, but there are plenty of extra credits opportunities. There were emails sent around a couple of months ago. If you look your email history, I'm sure you'll find them. If you can't find them, you ask your academic assistant or coordination, they will send the email again, and you will know how to get extra credits for your graduation. Normally you study all of the subjects, Veronica. Normally what's your study plan, you have to do it all. You don't choose. But since I don't know exactly what course are you enrolled in, I don't know if there are electives that are normally not there in the first year. So please, if you are not yet a student, then I'm sure you are in touch with somebody from enrollment. You can ask them exactly, and they will give you an answer specific to your case. I would say yes, you have to do them all, but please, ask them to be extra sure. Well, Lynn, if you are not satisfied with the quality, I would say address this with your course leader first. In some cases, we did allow some change of group, which means some change of teacher. There has to be some grounds because it depends on the situation, but it is a possibility. What is campus tax, Peter? I don't even know what it is, campus tax. So I guess it's part of your fee. I don't know exactly what it refers to. So, I mean, that's unfortunately a time period. Hopefully will end. So, I don't know, I guess that's, I don't really know exactly what this is, it's campus tax, but tomorrow you get a communication, you will know who to ask. I can also make myself a note to see what is exactly the campus tax for. So let's talk about it either next time or write to me privately, and I can try to find out what is this campus tax you're referring to. I know Xing, but honestly, that's what we have to do. There is no other choice. Also for us, it's not our fault if we had a pandemic. It's not our fault if everything in the world changed. And a lot of other businesses, all other businesses around, are now adapting to a new situation, and I mean we are all doing it. So I understand you are unhappy. I am also unhappy, honestly, of doing everything online. And honestly, we all have had economic consequences. So I second your discontent, and we all are. So in this case, I can see your point. Larissa, please, if you want to go back to the earlier part later, we touched that before. So you can go back to the initial part, and you will receive more information in the next couple of days. For electricity, Wi-Fi cleaning, its contribution. Oh well, yeah, that's the case. Well, and we also, that's something NABA pays, and we still pay it because the campus is still there, the rent is still there, the cleaning. And actually, that's if you want to know better, this is actually raised in terms of expenses. And I can tell you, this is not the truth. I don't know where you get that Bocconi yet have removed these. I know for a fact that YED didn't, and somebody mentioned that to me. I spoke personally to the YED person. So everybody is giving facilitations. We are also giving them. You will receive a full list of what are those facilitations. And what I say is we are aligning, if not going more than other universities in Italy and abroad. Ophelia, honestly, I don't know the specifics of the fees or what are all taxes. If you want to know exactly what is your money for, and Secretaria and Amministrazione can help you out. Now, really, I don't know this 540. I know that there is a government tax also on the thesis. I don't know if that's the one. Peter, please, can you wait for this communication you receive tonight and tomorrow, and then we can talk about it next time, so you have all the information. I think that's for the best. Yes, people seem to misunderstand. Not everybody understands right away. That's why I'm here, so I can explain. And not everybody has to understand instantly, and maybe they want to discuss more, and that's okay. We are happy to discuss things. We don't really want to stop that. I see you, Wong. Thank you for your contribution. I see your point. Xinjing, for the probably 100th time, would you please wait for the letter you're going to receive tonight or tomorrow? Because there you will find the information and the answers you're asking me. And again, I think you're also entitled to have them in writing and from the people who are responsible for it. So please wait for that, and then you can draw all your conclusions and all your considerations and act on whatever thinking you are doing. And that's all your right. So you, in the past, you have asked for student-specific help, financial help, students-wide help, remodulation of the fees, reduction of the fees. So all of those things are covered in the communication you're going to receive. So wait for it, and then whatever's not clear, whatever you are in favor or against, you can surely address that with the appropriate people, or I'm happy to explain also to you my view or have a discussion. That's not a problem. You can choose to repeat the course. Well, I'm sure there is a process for that. That's probably going to be with extra fees, though. Repetitions are not normally covered. So if you ask Coordinamento, they will point you to the procedure on this, and you will find out what would this imply. Apart from this, how am I personally, Mert Emre? I'm okay, personally, thank you for asking. I cannot hide from you that it's a difficult period because obviously, I mean, this thing is new for everybody, and I wouldn't have wished to anybody to be the dean of an institution in this and to have to make decisions and to have to act on it. However, it's my job. It's difficult. Honestly, I have to say, it wasn't easy for me. It's not easy to, because it's something nobody were prepared to. So fortunately, I work with a lot of brilliant people, and again, in this we never act alone. The way I'm dealing with it, with my own personal difficulties, is to side and team with people I trust. So in NABA, my colleagues, and in my personal life, my friends. That's the advice I can give you. Peter, very strange that I didn't respond. I don't know when you wrote me. I respond to every email I receive, so maybe I haven't responded yet. Maybe because I know that a response would come tonight or tomorrow. I see your point. You're very entitled to have this view. That's all I can say. Yes, Nest, that's the reality. Niguin, I don't know how this works. I don't know if there are like a smaller fee or what is the fee for interrupting, or if there is an administrative fee. It may be. Please, you can check. You can check with administration and coordination. And Ness, please, I know why you think so. It's not that I cannot imagine the reason why you think fees should be reduced. I also know that you don't know a lot of things. From the comments I see, it seems to be that many of you think NABA is saving money these days, and I can tell you it's not. It's really not saving money. I can see the budget. I have obviously a look only at my budget, but I know from my colleagues we are spending more and more for adapting the campus to the new rules and for increasing the lab capacity for next year, because we obviously need smaller groups in labs, and we need to have augmented and fragmented access to labs. So we need more. That's why I can tell you. So that's why when you say we don't pay electricity, electricity is probably 0.1% of the expenses. There are a lot of other expenses that you may not be aware of, and it's fine. You don't have to know exactly, and maybe you don't know how a company like NABA works and what is behind the scenes and what are the costs. If you want to know, I can tell you we're not spending less, at least in the academic department, and I know for a fact also in other departments. Obviously, if that's your idea, then that's why you think probably that there is a saving, but I can tell you there is not. Probably communication, Fabiola, could be better. So if the fear was broken into pieces, you would know better. I agree. So that's something we could improve: communication about what exactly the fee covers. I agree with you. Yuang, we are addressing the situation, so we are making improvements. So we should be able to fix the issue with Chinese servers. I know that you want to have a discount. I know if you ask my personal opinion, if it's about balancing the damage, so balancing who takes the damage of this pandemic, I think it should be shared. So obviously NABA is facing more costs. Obviously you are facing more costs. So I think an institution like NABA should make an effort to try to help students that are in need. And that's what we are going to do, what we are doing already, and we're going to do it more. Then, personally, that's my personal opinion, it's not necessarily NABA's. I am a strong believer of personal tailored solutions and not wide open solutions, because try to look at it in Italy. In Italy, you have people who work in the factory, maybe lower wage kind of people, and you have soccer players who earns million of euros per year. A contribution that gives everybody 500 euros, I don't think it's fair, because 500 euros makes no difference to a soccer player, and it would be better spent to giving more to those who need more. That's why, that's my personal, Guido Tottori's opinion, not necessarily NABA's, on generalized helps like wide reductions with no context. I am a fan of taking context into consideration. So what I think, it's more fair to consider single people situation and provide the help that it's right in that context, more than simply just say we put a budget and then with this we evenly reduce fees for everybody. So that, if you want my personal opinion. Peter, I know that's your opinion. That's very clear to me, and you stated it. So thank you. Again, Larissa, to retake courses, I believe there is an option for that. Obviously, that has a cost, so you can find out with administration. Tyra, yes, I think you asked this question already, haven't you? We are trying to rent more space. We are considering that. But the new space needs to be vetted by the ministry, and that takes months, unfortunately. So it's not always an option. I really see, Peter, that you have a thing with campus tax. I promised you already. I'm going to find out exactly what it is, and administration, I'm sure, will respond to you. So I get it. I see your point. I understand that you have this campus tax thing. I know that Google doesn't work in China. I've been to China several times, Anno. So I also know they use a lot of firewalls, but I also know that they are not legal. So, and I know that there are issues with European services, which we are trying to overcome. Thank you, Peter. Again, this is very clear. Your opinion is absolutely unmistakably clear. Yes, actually, we did see the vote. That's why we made the vote. And no, there's no offense. Absolutely, don't get offended for that. Actually, it's good that you tell me. We did run a survey, and the survey was not really negative. I mean, obviously, we know that there are some issues with online teaching, but in quantitative terms, the student body, with a numeric value, of course, but that's also why we do these encounters, because we also want the qualitative value, expressed satisfaction with that. Because, I mean, given the situation, obviously, if you think about this semester in normal circumstances, I understand when we are not satisfied. In my view, I mean, you obviously can be not satisfied. Nevertheless, obviously, if that's your feeling, there's nothing you can do or I can do. But you need to understand that given the circumstances, we didn't have no other choice. So if we had any other choice, we would have made it, but there wasn't, and there isn't yet. So it's the same. Like if you want to travel to France, you know, at the moment to me it's not possible. And obviously I can complain if I have friends or family in France. You know, I find it extremely unjust that I cannot go. You know, and you know, it's my right as a European citizen not to go. But at this moment, I can't. We live in a moment where many of our rights are taken away for security reasons. Whether this is fair or not, it's also a political view that obviously it's very personal and everybody can have their own. This is what it is. This is the world right now. Nothing is normal. So obviously, you need to judge and make your opinions considering that we live in very not normal times. So no offense at all. And Peter, I'm sorry, I try to be supportive. Again, on this, I can only say to you, you'll know more today or tomorrow. I'm sure my colleagues in NABA will respond to you. And again, if you write to me and I don't respond right away, just wait, I will respond. I will always respond to every email I get. Sometimes it takes me a week. But that's because I read personally my email. I don't have assistants or a staff who goes through my mail. So if you get a response from me, you can make sure I have personally typed that response to you. So sometimes that takes time. I prefer to do this way rather than have a staff that does, you know, the correspondence for me, because you know things go out with my name, and you know you should know that when something comes out from my email account, it comes from me directly. The price is yes, it takes a bit longer. You know, there is only a limit to how many emails I can respond per day. So sorry if I'm late, but I will respond to you. Larissa, I don't think that's an option, but you will know with this letter you receive. Well, you know, Catalina, it's very difficult because now everybody went away in their home countries, and classes time, it remained at the same time because people needed to have a reference. We try to ask all the lecturers to record their classes so you can watch them later. Obviously, we cannot find a time that works for somebody who is in China, in Europe, and in Latin America. So, and so we can't consider all if we have to cover 20 time zones at the same time. Schedule. It is okay for. Yeah, I mean, a bit harshly, but that's kind of the point. It's really what we can do to overcome these is I ask our teachers several times to record their classes. So at least if you cannot, you know, wake up at 3 a.m., which I understand it's not comfortable, you can watch them later, recorded. Exactly, that's the permesso di soggiorno issue. That's why we want to give you the option of online. No, I mean, we know very well, and we receive communication about that. So that's obviously one of our main concerns, you know, people who cannot come back to NABA. That's certainly something we consider. Thank you, my dear Laura. I know you're not using Wi-Fi, so thank you, Nicole, for agreeing with Peter. And again, just for your information, unfortunately, Wi-Fi electricity is really a very, very minor part of the costs. The costs are somewhere else. So, but we will see. We'll see what we can do. Maria, thank you, Alessandro, for permit of stay. That's obviously the address to get your information from. We've been a bit longer than usual, but again, sometimes I realize when I write emails, sometimes I tend to be very brief or very blunt, and sometimes when responding to your questions, you may you know, be led to think that I'm offended. Somebody said today, no offense, I'm never offended by this. So please, if I seem a bit brisk, it's because I want to respond to all of you. So sometimes I, you know, go straight to the point, without a lot of, going around in circles and formality and embellishments. So please don't think I'm offended at all. I value the fact that you feel free to state your opinions very clearly, and that's something you should really, fight for. And I would never tell you not to express your opinion. So please do continue doing that. And no offense at all. So that doesn't offend me completely. There wouldn't be any sense in being offended by students, having their voice be heard. That's why you should go for the consulta. That's my last point. Again, go and put yourself, Peter, you that are you so talkative, you would be a perfect candidate. Why don't you list for the consulta? This is a place where you can, bring your energy and very, talkative attitude to a very good use representing your students. You already have people who, already say it agrees with your point. I'd say that's a really good grounds for, taking a role of representation. You do very well for the little I know you, of course, but I think you do very well in that position. So I invite you to join it if that's something you can consider. Yes, exactly. That's what we are trying to do, Anno, to give you the option for next year. Right. So we went late, so I really have to leave you now. Thank you again for the discussion. I really enjoy this time with you. I'm sorry I couldn't give you any more information today, but again, you will receive it tonight or tomorrow. So rest assured, we will speak soon again, in another couple of weeks with more news and monitoring the lab situation to see whether we can increase capacity. Again, Yakui, it doesn't sound right to me, but that's not exactly what happened. But again, you seem to know it all, so I can't really, discuss any further. Well, we cannot force people, but yes, that's something we already said. And if that's vital for you, please raise the issue of recording with your course leaders, because that's something we encourage them to do. The only exception, bear in mind, sometimes teachers give you access to restricted material, projects they are working on for clients, for things that they are not supposed to disclose. In these cases, we cannot force them to record. The good point is that you have access to these very, very recent industry cases that are real and valuable. So that could be a reason for people not wanting to record Yuhong. Great. So again, thank you for joining. We'll be in touch again, and have a great night and rest of the week. No, Larissa, that's not an option as far as I know. Okay, so that'll be all for today. Thank you, and we'll speak again soon. Bye-bye.